This is the Sixth Man Show, an Orlando Magic podcast, with your hosts, Kevin Tucker and Jonathan Osborne, covering all things Magic basketball. By fans, for fans. Go Magic!
What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? You guys are back with the Sixth Man Show. Today is October 30th, 2025. Jonathan Osborne here, as always, joined by my co-host, Kevin Tucker. Kevin, this blows. What's up?
Hey, dude. Okay, so here's the deal. This episode's going to be interesting. You know, we're going to be angry. We're going to be upset. We're going to be frustrated. We're going to voice our concerns, all those things. Before we get super negative, I wanted to just, if we can have one moment of positivity, I wanted to show you some things. I haven't even shown you this. I'm going to do a little show and tell. Do you remember a few weeks ago when the Magic were doing this all-out fire sale of all these old things that they had around the arena, different branded? I'm going to show you my haul. It came in the mail today. I got this cool oven mitt, which
I can't do this right now.
Just wait. This is the worst part.
Really, the
other parts are cool.
This
is our only opportunity. They were supposed to send me 2 and they only sent me 1, so that sucks. So add that to the list. But look at this. I got one of these cool things from outside the arena, like the banners. This is a 30th anniversary one with Evan Fournier. No, just kidding. Nikola Vucevic. How cool is this? Isn't that cool?
That.
Wow. I got a couple stuff posters. I got the 35th anniversary pin and a Paolo Rookie of the Year pin. And that's all for the positivity for today. That's it.
Okay. This episode is brought to you by Alexander Hall, Kevin Williams, Woodson864, Sierra Marr, and Joey Charles. Those are our newest patrons. They went to patreon.com/the Sixth Man Show. Whenever we have brand new patrons, we give them a special shout out. Normally, this is where I would go through and shout out our Hall of Fame and Elite Tier patrons. I love you guys so much. You mean the world to us. I don't have it in me tonight to sit here and fake that. Appreciate you all so much. We're giving away an autographed Jalen Suggs jersey. If you want a chance to win that, go to patreon.com/the Sixth Man Show. Join at least our all-star tier. We'll be giving that away on Monday. Love you all so much. So sorry we're not giving you like the normal due here, but this team has me absolutely furious. Kevin, the Magic are 1-4, have dropped their last 4 in a row, lost to Philadelphia on Monday night, lost to Detroit tonight, Wednesday, in dramatic butt-kicking fashion. I cannot believe how good this team looked for the first 18 minutes of this game and how bad they looked for the next 30 minutes. I don't really know. Like, I don't have a plan for like all the things that we're going to go through and say and talk about. Usually Kevin and I, especially during the regular season, we sit through and we have like a very detailed breakdown of everything that we're going to talk about. I'm angry. You all are angry. Kevin and I, we are reacting to this differently. We feel a little bit differently about what's going on here, and I want to give both of us an opportunity to go through this. But Kevin, I just want to start by saying I don't know when I've ever been as angry as I am now as a fan of this team, because the opportunity that is in front of us and as good as this team can be and all the talent that we have and all of that, excuse my language, but I'm not going to do that. I'm better than that. We are squandering everything right now. I know it's only 5 games into the season. This team does not look anything like what we were promised. The defense is non-existent. I don't care about the offense at all. Score 85 points a game until you can figure out the defense. This is just such a pathetic showing night in and night out. Just getting absolutely outclassed, outcoached, outplayed, out-hustled, out-hearted, outplayed, whatever adjective you want to use. This is just despicable, unacceptable basketball that we are watching right now. And if things continue to go this way for much longer, I don't know what's going to happen. And 2 weeks ago, I thought there's no way that there would be any type of major change early into the season. This team does not look bought into what they're being sold right now at all. And that is like the number one way that coaches get fired in this league. When the team stops buying in and they stop believing in their head coach, right or wrong. Does Mosley deserve some blame? Absolutely. 90% of it, I feel like, is on the players, but that's just not the way that things go in this league. Kevin, how do you feel?
Man, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I really, really don't. I mean, it would be one thing if the Magic came out into this season with this brand new look, this brand new style of play, and they were just falling short, like still figuring it out. Not there's some wrinkles, but oh man, you lost by a couple possessions or whatever. The fact that number one, these two games, especially Monday and Wednesday, against inferior opponents, you got absolutely destroyed. And I know the Philly game was technically close late in that game, at some point in the fourth quarter. You were coming from behind the entire night. Like, you were playing from behind the entire night. And then Wednesday against Detroit, I mean, take that to a different level after the first quarter and a half. So for me, the fact that these games aren't even close, but then more importantly, like you said, the lack of identity when watching this team is the most concerning. Again, if I felt like we had an identity, we were just falling short. Like, let's say the offense was beautiful, it's just guys weren't making threes again. That's one thing. But the fact that we don't look good defensively, we don't look good offensively, that's concerning for me. When we did the show Monday, Jonathan, we talked about the defense. And I genuinely thought through 3 games, while the defense wasn't good, I wasn't super concerned. We talked about it. I said, I think you're going to have to sacrifice some defense for offense. But through 3 games, Friday and Saturday, the defense wasn't awful. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. Monday and Wednesday, the defense has been awful. Literally since we recorded that episode, I feel it has been even worse. And that is something that is very concerning to me. The last thing I'll say before we move on, while I am concerned and I am angry and I am frustrated, I cannot ignore the fact that literally 7 days ago, Jonathan, was when you and I sat here and recorded after the Miami game. It was a week. It's been 1 week. It has been a terrible week. Don't get me wrong. It's been a terrible week, but it has been 1 week. And so I'm trying to tell myself, is this too much for myself? Am I reacting too much after 1 week of basketball? Or is it proper to react because of how bad it's been? That's where I'm wrestling right now, because it has been a week, but it has been a really, really bad week.
I can take losing. I can take growing pains.
Yeah.
Like you put it, I can take falling short, right? Like you can see it conceptually, right? Like we're just not quite there yet. We're still like kind of, feeling things out. But when Jason Beatty, who we think the world of, who we think is a fantastic writer, when he is commenting in the third quarter, in the second half, questioning where the fight is of this team, that's when you have massive problems. I can take not winning. I can take the offense doesn't look great, whatever. The offense has not been the problem. You lost your last 2 games, putting up 124, 116 points. Last year, you score 116 points like 9 times out of 10 you're winning that game. You score 124 points like 99 out of 100 times you're winning that game. Last year, the Magic didn't give up 130 points, not even one time. We've given it up twice in the first 5 games. Big picture, 1 week, is it a little bit too early? Like, is the season over? Is everything unsalvageable? No. The problem for me is the fact that fight, that grit, oh no, we're not going to get blown out. We're not going to go out like this. This is the 5th year of Jamal Mosley. We have never seen this fully healthy, all the talent in the world, where usually like, hey, this team is going to make a run. Like this team, every year it's, hey, we're down 20, we're down 15, whatever. This team is going to make a run. We're going to make it close. And every time right before we get that, it's like 3-4 turnovers in a row, fouling a guy and 1, leaving Duncan Robinson wide open in the corner. Okay, he just hit another 3. Like we're seeing things that are just not characteristic of the team that we have been watching and struggling and growing with the last 5 seasons. It's like we just woke up, what was that? September 30th, first day of training camp, and said, we're going to forget everything that's made us relatively successful, everything that we've built our foundation on, everything that we've built our identity on the last 5 years, we're just going to forget all of that just for the sake of scoring more points and just for getting a few more possessions each game. And it has crippled this team.
Yeah. It's a combination of that. And I think some of the, it's some of the players too, right? Like, I don't know if the players are struggling because of the system or if the system is struggling because the players are not playing well. But I mean, you just look up and down the list and it's just guys are not, they're not holding up their end of the bargain. You know, the things that we expect of them, it's just not happening. I mean, the first guy you look at is, I hate to say it, Desmond Bane, right? Like through 5 games has not lived up to the billing. You know, opening night, he was pretty good. But regardless, through 5 games, he hasn't done the one thing that we needed him to do. The one thing that he promised he would do. He's not knocking down open threes. It's not happening. He's doing some other things.
He's passing them up.
He's also passing them up. But when he takes them, he's not making them either. And maybe that's why he's starting to pass them up, because he's not making them. But that's the one thing we need from him. He's brought some other things. I can appreciate the fact that he can get to the rim, unlike guards in that spot in the past. But on a night like Wednesday night, he got swatted like 3 times. So like, I apologize for pointing just to Desmond Bane. I think there's other guys that are problems. But when you do give up so much for him, and you do hear all summer about how he's going to change things, and when he says it himself, and it doesn't happen over the course of 4, or if you want to count opening night, 5 games, you don't see it. That's a cause for concern. And that's just one guy. I think there are other guys. Obviously, we talked about Tyus Jones a lot in the last episode. It's still a thing. Tyus Jones has not lived up to what we've expected from him as an acquisition. But what's worse, I don't think through 5 games, neither Paolo nor Franz have lived up to the expectations that I think we have for them and that they have for themselves. Each of them has had some good games. Each of them has had some good moments. But I think on the whole, over 5 games, I'm relatively disappointed. And maybe it's not even statistically, but more so on the leadership front. These guys are the leaders of the team. Maybe they're not the oldest, maybe they're not the wisest, whatever. They are the leaders of the team. And I just have been very concerned with the body language that I've seen from them. It's easy on opening night when you're up against the Heat, when the crowd's into it going crazy. You see the emotions then, and that was cool. But there are also important emotions to show, an attitude to show when you are down on the road and you're getting your butts kicked, right? And we just haven't seen that from either of them, to me. And maybe I've missed it. We haven't been in these arenas. Maybe it's in timeouts or whatever. And if that's the case, I apologize. But I just don't love what I've seen from them either on that front. And again, it's not even one guy. It's across the board. There's just a lot of guys that are not living up to the expectations that we had for them.
It just feels like this team is not bought into what they're doing right now. When it's working, okay, great. Like the first, 16, 18 minutes of this game, everything looks great right now.
Great.
And the reason that I don't feel like this team is bought in, because it's the second that something doesn't go right, the air lets out of the balloon, everybody's deflated. All of a sudden, you're compounding mistakes. Then there's a turnover. Then there's a foul. Now you're getting frustrated with the officiating, and things just completely unravel instantly. It's not like a slow, gradual leak. It's like the second something goes wrong, there's C4 on the boat. Like, there's not a small hole at the bottom. They're completely blowing the boat up and saying, screw it. And it's like they're still kind of like trying to go through the motions, but they're like their heart's not in it. You can tell that. Like, they're trying to do what the coaching staff wants, but they're not really bought into what is happening. I would rather this team completely throw out everything that's changed offensively to start the year, go back to just dribble handoffs and Paolo and Franz ISOs and all that bull crap, get these guys to sit down and guard. And the worst part of this is it's not like a schematic thing. Like, Jalen Suggs and Anthony Black and Desmond Bane can't keep guys in front of them. When guys get in front of them, we can't stop fouling guys at the rim. Part of this is officiating. If you're going to tell me that Wendell Carter Jr. not being able to play with an iota of physicality against Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart when they're borderline throwing him around like a rag doll on the other end, and the second that he tries to reciprocate and match that energy, you're blowing the whistle, you're not giving this team a chance. And then when Wendell Carter came out of this game, Goga Batadze, Noah Penda, Jonathan Isaac, whoever Jamal Mosley tried to throw out there, did absolutely nothing. Yep. People are sitting here trying to, Goga Batadze is actually really good. Like, look at him tonight. He had 10 points. He's 5 of 5. The dude can't stop anybody right now. Shots are going up. Guys aren't boxing out. We continue to turn the ball over. 16 turnovers tonight, which I guess for this team at this point in time, I guess is like pretty good. Like, we should accept, it was only 16 turnovers. It wasn't freaking 20 of them tonight.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Paolo alluded to it the other night. What good is all this pace if there's no direction? Because it doesn't feel like there's direction. And if there is direction, you can't bail out on the scheme the second that something goes wrong. And then hang your head and let everything affect the defensive side of the ball. We've seen that with this team in the past. And like, okay, when you're scoring 87 points in a game, I get it. It's frustrating. You're not knocking down shots. It's frustrating. It's easy to let the offense affect the energy on the other end. We're shooting 38% from behind the arc. We're shooting 12 of 31 from three. That's got to be good enough for this team, right? When you're making 3 threes a game like we were last year, like, all right, you don't want to defend, like, whatever. It's a Wednesday night in Detroit in January, whatever. You're 1-3 coming into this game. We talked about this team being contenders. We talked about this team possibly making the Eastern Conference Finals. Even the conference finals, we'll be lucky to make the play-in the way that this team is playing right now. And 10% blame to Jamal Mosley maybe isn't fair. Maybe it's more like, I don't know, 25, 30%, because these rotations are legitimately terrible. You have Noah Penda in this game, rookie, whatever. This is not the spot to throw this guy in there. He had some decent moments tonight, but he's getting cooked defensively. And your solution to that is to bring in Tyus Jones. What are we doing on that end? Jalen Suggs, to end the third quarter, he's the guy calling for a defensive substitution because we've got Tyus Jones on the floor, and he can't keep a traffic cone in front of him. Like, I hate this for Jamal Mosley because I know that he puts everything that he has into this team. He has not done a great job so far to start the season, but he can only do so much. I see a lot of people calling for Jamal Mosley's job right now. I understand the frustration. I understand the concern of like, hey, if this team gives up on this guy, we've got no choice. That's just what happens in this league. It's not right, but that's what happens. But guys need to play basketball, man. Yeah. Like Anthony Black, the team was playing pretty well. Anthony Black comes in that second quarter, has a couple of bad plays. The lead goes from, I think it was 10, all of a sudden now it's 6, and then it's 4, and then they've got the lead at the half. Like, guys have just got to come in and be better. Up and down the lineup, like Paolo, Banchero, Franz, Wagner, you talked about those guys maybe not like living up to the expectations. I think they're doing just about all they can do with what they've been given. Paolo's got 16 shot attempts tonight. 7 of 16 from the floor. He's got to make his freaking free throws, first of all.
Yeah.
Franz is getting 14 shot attempts in this game. That is not enough. Now, you can point to the 16 turnovers and say, hey, that's 16 additional field goal attempts that this team should have, but they don't care to hang on to the basketball. And I feel for Jamal Mosley because what are you supposed to do? Right? Like, we've got to have guys that can handle the basketball. And what are you going to do? Just sit Anthony Black, sit Jalen Suggs? I mean, sure, you could play Jace Richardson, but like he's got to throw guys out there that are capable of handling the ball at least a little bit. And whenever he does, they're just turning the freaking ball over. Like this is not what we signed up for, man. This is putrid basketball that we're watching right now. It is awful, man. I can deal with losing. We sat through a decade of losing. This like stuff that is so simple, like the attention to detail stuff, like sit down and guard your freaking guy. We got to do the simple stuff or the complicated stuff that we want, like the complicated stuff we're trying to do with the offense, which isn't really all that complicated. Like if we're not doing the simple stuff, boxing out, defending, taking care of the basketball, this is going to be a lottery team. And guess what, Kevin? We don't even have a freaking lottery pick.
Yep. Yeah.
You can go 0-82, and guess what? You're going to be sitting on your hands in that first round doing a whole bunch of nothing. Well, the Magic are letting us down, but you know who will never? The Posit Group. Posit Group is your home team on and off the court, your Orlando real estate resource of choice. They are the most followed real estate brand in Central Florida in Orlando with 1,700 plus 5-star reviews. They're impacting lives through real estate. The Posit Group agents outsell the competition by 5 times in their top 1% of sales in the United States. Not only did they support our show here and support this Orlando Magic fan base, but they've also partnered with the Magic this year. They are the official real estate broker of the Orlando Magic. So we want to make sure that we send them all of our support. So whether you're in the market for a home or you're trying to sell your own, the Posit Group is definitely where you want to be. Ken and his entire group do such a great job of helping people either find the home of their dreams or sell the home that you're in. Maybe you're trying to find a new home, move to another part of Central Florida. For whatever your real estate needs, head over to Posic.com. Posit Group, again, your home team on and off the court.
What I love about all of our sponsors, Jonathan, like you said, they just won't let you down. You know what to expect from them, and they won't let you down, whether it's Posit Group or Mark Abraham with Thrive It or Jam Hot Chicken. Because Jam Hot Chicken, they're always bringing you jams, culture, and hot chicken to Winter Park and now to Winter Garden. We always say they have the best chicken in Central Florida, and we stand by it. Don't believe us? Go try them. Again, at Plant Street Market in Winter. I almost got it mixed up. Winter Garden or in Hannibal Square in Winter Park. They're the best in Central Florida, and they're diehard Magic fans as well. We love Andrew. We love their whole team. And when you go there, you can use the code 6MAN to get 10% off your order. You can do that in person at the counter. Let the person taking your order know the code 6MAN, or you can use online if you're ordering ahead as well. Again, that's code 6MAN, SIXTHMAN. Big shout out to Jam for sponsoring this show. And now let's get back to the episode. I wonder, Jonathan, what the locker room is like tonight. Like, is it just sadness? Is it disappointment? Is it anger? Is it nothing? Is it just like, oh, another night? Which at some level, I actually understand. You know, it's number one, it's their job. But number two, like, you do have to have a short memory. People talk about this all the time across all sports. Because guess what? The Magic play, as you're listening to this, they play again tonight in Charlotte. And that's a great chance for a team to bounce back. But I just hope there is some level of discontent with this. Like that, I hope, I don't think they are. But I hope the guys are not just sitting there accepting this, right? And if they are, I hope the coaching staff isn't allowing that to happen, because it's just not acceptable. Yeah, if I had to, like, it's hard for me also to weigh the balance between what is Mosley's fault, what is the player's fault, what is Jeff Weltman's fault, and as far as how the roster is constructed and stuff. I tend to, as of right now at least, give more of a pass on Weltman, because when I look at the roster and the needs that we thought we had coming into the season, he addressed those, right? Could there have been other things? Maybe. But I'm not sitting here saying this team is not good enough, because I still think on paper they're good enough. Then the next two are coaching and the players. And I might be, I don't think I'm 50-50. I'm probably like 40-60 between coaching and players, personally. And maybe that's being too generous to Jamal Mosley. I don't know. But I still feel like the players are not giving you what you want. And I know right now the thing fresh in our minds is Wednesday night, where certain guys did play somewhat well, especially, again, that first quarter and a half. I thought a lot of guys played pretty well.
You know, I'm sorry to jump in here. Mosley does deserve more blame than what I attributed to him, because at the end of the day, this style of play and completely abandoning your defensive identity falls on the head coach.
Sure, but the head coach is not responsible for Paolo and Franz missing 11
Oh, that's
free throws.
100% correct.
They left 11 points at the line, in a game that was a single digit to low double digit game up until partway through the fourth quarter. This game was attainable. And again, I'm not putting everything on Paolo and Franz, but I'm saying through 5 games, there are most of the players on this team have not put together 5 good. I don't think anybody's put together 5 good games, honestly.
No.
Not one player has played well all 5 games, I don't think. And maybe I'm missing something, but I can't think of one.
There's a handful of guys who have played well in more than one.
Yeah. And to me, I know you can sit here and blame the pace. Not you. I mean, anyone can sit there and blame the pace. And I think that is valid. But there are also some things at the end of the day when you're a professional basketball player that you should be able to do, like make your free throws, which we didn't do tonight. We didn't do, what was that, Saturday? Or make open threes like we expect Desmond Bane to do, or Tyus Jones, who didn't do that in the first 4 games. Or like you said earlier, just guard your man. Like those things I don't think are dependent on a system, those core fundamental things. And I think across the board, we just haven't gotten that from enough guys through 5 games to where I can totally blame Jamal Mosley and the coaching staff. I think they deserve, I don't know if blame's the right word, because at the end of the day, they were trying something new and it's not working, obviously. But the question is it not working because they didn't try, like the way they implemented it isn't good, or the style they implemented, or is it because the personnel doesn't work with it? I don't know. But the question is, what are they going to do now? That's my big question. Are they just going to double down and stick with it and say it's going to get better, or are they going to modify it, or are they going to abandon it altogether? It's a very important next week. You know, we talked about at the beginning. It's only been a week since opening night. This next week is very important. You only have 2 games. 3 games. You play Charlotte Thursday, then Washington, then Atlanta. If you lose to Charlotte and Washington, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. Like, if you lose to Charlotte and Washington and you're sitting there at 1-5 with an extra day of rest before the game on Tuesday,
I think you'd be 1-6 at that point.
1-6, even better. Yay. If you lose to Charlotte and Atlanta, or no, that's not what I said. Lose to Charlotte and Washington, and then again, because you have an extra day off before the game in Atlanta on Tuesday. What happens? What happens? Or the reverse. Let's say they lose all 3. Let's say they lose all 3. God forbid they lose all 3. And you are 1 and whatever that is, 7 going into the Friday game against Boston. And once again, you have an extra day off. Why do I keep saying that? Because that sometimes is when big moves happen. When you have extra days off, sometimes that's when things are shaken up. So as I'm sitting here just thinking through that, if the Magic lose these next 3 games, Charlotte, Washington, Atlanta, and you have that's a Tuesday game, the Magic will play till Friday at home. I think all bets are off as far as what could happen. And the last thing I'll say before I let you take a stab at all this, I go back to the week.
I've taken plenty stabs already.
I go back to the week thing. What I just said is very strong, right? I'm obviously dancing around it, but I'm hinting at either a coaching change if the Magic lose the next 3 games, or some sort of, earth-shattering trade that we can't even. I can't even think of what it could be.
It's way too early to give up on the talent of this team.
I know, but I'm just telling you, those are the only 2 options. But it's also extremely possible that when we sit down to record a week from today, after those 3 games, that the Magic have gone 3-0 and things have turned around.
Correct.
And maybe they're not perfect, but at least we're on the right trajectory. I think that is also possible. Ask me which one I think is more likely. I really don't know. If you're asking me right now, based on my heart, I think option 1 is more likely than option 2, which is terrifying. But that's just based on what we've seen. I've been given no reason to believe that a turnaround is imminent or even possible. But look, if it's ever going to happen,
which Trae Young looked like he had a pretty significant knee injury tonight. Nothing like season ending.
I think it's sprain. I think they already announced it's a sprain.
But yeah, Clint Capella fell on Trae Young's leg tonight. Yeah. So you most likely will be playing an Atlanta team on NBC, by the way.
Yeah.
without Trae Young.
Gosh.
Can you stomach watching this team on national television right now for the entire world to see this? Because I can't.
Not what tonight was, but the point is, like, these are going to be three of the best opportunities in the world to right the ship. You almost could not ask for a better slate of games, except maybe like a Brooklyn or something in there. Like, I know Charlotte and Washington, they have crazy offenses, and so far Washington, I think, has overperformed what people expect. I don't care. On paper, you should take care of both of these teams. And Atlanta, I know they already got you once, but no Trae. You should take care of them too. This is a golden opportunity to turn it around. I know Charlotte on Thursday is the second out of a back-to-back for us. I haven't looked at the scores tonight. I don't remember if Charlotte's playing on, as we're talking right now, Wednesday. I don't know if they played tonight. I'm looking to see if it's a back-to-back for them. It is not. So Charlotte's going to have rest. You're not. I don't care. Go beat them. Go beat them. Go beat the Wizards. Go beat Atlanta. And we have a different conversation in a week. But that feels daunting at this point, but we'll see.
So the Magic, as we speak, are getting ready to take off, to fly to Charlotte for tomorrow's game. And they play in Charlotte. There's no shoot around scheduled for tomorrow. Guys are just going to be getting, rest and treatment or whatever ahead of the game. Then on Friday, they're off. They'll fly to DC. They play DC on Saturday. They're off on Sunday. They'll fly to Atlanta. And then they have a practice on Monday. They better be doing nothing but defensive freaking slides in like high school style, like throw the ball out. Guys should be tackling each other. Like, bring back the fire, the edge, the competitive spirit of this team. Because, like, the thing that we have been able to hang our hats on when it comes to Jamal Mosley for the previous 4 seasons is no matter what, you're going to be in a dogfight against this Magic team. They might not score a lot of points. They're going to hustle. They're going to, make all of the bell plays, as we've come to call them. They're going to defend their butts off, and they're going to make life a living hell for their opponent night in and night out basis.
That's right.
Right now, we're seeing absolutely none of that. And that, to me, is what is the most concerning thing. I am okay with the offense not being great some nights, even, most nights. As long as it's like, as long as we weren't, like, if we have the 17th best offense in the league, I'm fine with that. Give me the defense. My basketball philosophy is you should always spend the most attention on and the most effort on the things that you can control. Defense, effort, rebounding, taking care of the basketball. At the end of the day, you can't control whether or not the shots go in, right? Like, you can work as good as, as hard as you can to get good looks and to take the best looks. But at the end of the day, the shots either go in or they don't. You don't really have control over that. Control what you can control. And Jamal Mosley, the things that we have criticized him for the previous 4 seasons, now 5 seasons, inability to call timely timeouts continues to be an issue even this year. We saw that in the Atlanta game. We saw it in the Philadelphia game. We saw it at points tonight. Rotations being an issue. I know it's early in the season. Things aren't going well. Like, he's searching for things. But the decision to play Noah Penda before Tristan da Silva is in the game, and then to play him for 3 minutes, to pull him, to put him back in the game in the second half, to pull him for Tyus Jones. And I know he's got one arm tied behind his back, as you talked about on the last episode, Kevin, with these Jalen Suggs, minutes restrictions. And I mean, they might have to have like an organizational meeting of like, hey, can Jalen conceivably play 30 minutes a game right now? And if he can, you've got to make it happen, because like, we need to start winning games. And just, oh my gosh, Kevin, like, this, it's just not working. And I just can't look past the decision to say, we're going to spend so much attention on the offense that it's going to affect the defense. Like, never in a million years did I think that it would be possible for Jamal Mosley to go seeking for offense so far to the point that it would affect the defense this much. Like, I would have thought Jamal Mosley, the second that he even thought that the defense was slipping, was like, okay, no, timeout. We're going to figure out this offense stuff, but the way that you all are defending and the way that you're not fighting for these games is unacceptable. And if he can't keep this team accountable to that level, like, at what point do you just have to pull a guy who can't stop making bad decisions and turning the ball over? Like, make an example out of somebody. Because it is epidemic of this team that they can't take care of the basketball. They're not boxing out. They're not guarding. At some point, you just got to start sitting these guys down. You cannot play Tyus Jones. You just have to say, look, Tyus, you're killing us defensively. We need defense right now. You're sitting. And that's the end of it. Like, bring guys in who are going to defend. It's nobody right now.
I hear you, and I agree. But the problem I feel is, where do you go? Again, who on this roster has played well in 5 games?
Nobody.
That's the problem.
Borderline nobody. I do like how Paolo and Franz play. I think we might disagree like very slightly there, but like everybody else, it's like,
of course,
help me help you.
Of course, Paolo and Franz are a different category. Outside of that, you talk about the center position. If Wendell's not boxing out, if Wendell's not knocking down shots, whatever, who are you going to go to? Goga? And you just talked about Goga earlier. You can go to J.I. J.I. hasn't been good.
How bad did we get juked by Wendell?
I'm not done with him yet.
Dude.
Hold on. Just listen.
We need him, but he's been bad.
But I'm saying go down the rest of the roster. You talk about the guards, not turning the ball over, playing defense. Who do you go to? You can't play Jalen Suggs. We talked about that. You're going to go to Tyus Jones, who can't defend, and up until tonight hadn't made a 3. You're going to go to Anthony Black, who played well Monday, but is still having turnover issues and still, I mean, he was a minus 28 tonight, Anthony Black. And I know it's a terrible stat. You can't always take it for what it is, but a minus 28 is still wild to hear. And then like go to the wings, like, okay, you're going to pull Desmond Bane, right? Like, I mean, Desmond played 30 minutes tonight, first night of a back-to-back. Let's say he's got a rest. Who are you going to play there? I think you should play Tristan, obviously. I thought Tristan was really good tonight. If anything, Tristan might be the most consistent role player that we have on this team so far through 5 games.
Yes.
Had a couple, maybe not so good games, but 3 out of the 5, I think he's been really good, including tonight. And honestly, probably should have played more than 20 mintes tonight, honestly.
Tristan's been like no worse than the Magic's 4th best player.
Yes, exactly. But that's the thing. Like, I agree with you, and I think there should be accountability, but I also feel like it's like, where do you go? Like,
no. That's
the other thing. I'm so self-conscious about this. We've talked about this before, Jonathan. I always feel so stupid getting on this show or the postgame live or whatever and telling professional basketball players how I feel about how they play, because I sit here as an unathletic dude who does not play professional sports. And does not have that experience and all kinds of stuff.
You've got eyes, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel stupid about it, but I also know what we were promised by the players, by the coaches, by the front office, and that's the standard to which I'm holding everything, players, coaches, whatever. And so I do feel slightly justified, at least this time, in how I feel and how I'm evaluating some of the stuff. And so people could say in the comments, oh, you guys don't even play. You're right, we don't play, but we trusted those who do, who told us to expect something. And it's early, but through 5 games, or how many games? This is 5 games, yeah. Through 5 games, it's just not even been close, to what we thought it would be.
And shout out to the guys that we're talking about that are like carrying everything right now, still getting in front of the media and talking when, like, of course, Jamal's got to get up there, but like Paolo and Franz are not the guys that need to be answering questions on like, hey, like what needs to change. Like, yes, like they're leaders of this team. They need to be held accountable, but like they are so far down the list of the major problems of this team. Yes. If I had like, you know, in an ideal scenario, would they be the ones that just like lift everybody up, you know, and raise them up and say, hey, guys, let's all just like figure this out and like, let's go for it. But like guys are just playing so badly. Like, and the fact that there's not been this realization of like, hey, we just need to put every ounce of energy that we have into defending and rebounding and let everything else just kind of be what it is, right? Like, we'll figure out the offense, but this is not who we are. We're not the Indiana Pacers, right? Like, sit down, defend, muck up the game. That's your identity. The offense needs to improve a little bit, but the offense doesn't need to become everything. That's not how this team was built. That's not who this team is.
Jonathan, this is a stat that for some people might be comforting, for some people might be alarming. We're 6% through the season. 5 out of 82. I just did the math. A little math wizard over here, I know. 6% of the way through the season. For some people, they're going to be like, oh, plenty of time, long way to go, 94% to go. But for other people, 6%, that's enough to start asking questions, enough to start raising red flags. And I mean, if the post-game live is any indication, there's a lot of concern here, which, by the way, I do want to mention this. The amount of attention and energy that we have seen from Magic fans through this early losing streak has been truly remarkable. And there's no better way to like measure that than in the post-game lives, which is our live show after every game on YouTube. This is year 3 of this. The previous 2 seasons, there was a noticeable, dramatic difference between wins and losses. Wins, a bajillion people in there watching the show, in the chat, all that kind of stuff, celebrating. Losses, crickets. Nobody there. And something you and I always talked about was, man, where's the passion in the losses? Like, where is the, we talk about fight for the players. Where's the fight in the fans? You know, this is not acceptable. Well, we're seeing it this year. And I think it is because of those heightened expectations that here we are a week into the season and this team looks terrible. Now, all of a sudden, these post-game lives after losses are popping. And again, it is a very good temperature gauge of where this fan base is, both in expectation and in reaction to what has been this first week. And I just find that very fascinating, but also encouraging and terrifying all at the same time, I guess.
Paolo, Banchero, Franz, Wagner, both in their post games talking about the offense affecting the defense and how they're just not locked in on that end and that the defensive effort isn't there. Like, I'm glad that these guys are calling guys out. And honestly, like, we know Paolo's like shortcomings defensively, right? Like, not always 100% locked in on that end. Franz Wagner is always like as solid can be on that end. But like, I do feel like those guys have been playing with effort on that end. Have they been perfect? No, but like the biggest issues have been like the point of attack stuff. Like, it's been Jalen to a certain degree. I know he's coming back from injury, so I'm not trying to like throw everything on him. Anthony Black, Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones especially, like Tristan Da Silva in like some instances. Like, if you cannot stop the ball on the perimeter, your back line just does not have a chance, because then they're having to rotate. There's dump offs. Guys are getting like easy looks at the basket. And that's a lot of what we've seen through these first 5 games here. So credit to them for like calling it out. But like, we're about to find out like who this team is over the next like 5 games, right? If we take a look here at the schedule, Charlotte, Washington, Atlanta, Boston. Boston has not been off to a great start so far to start the season. They're 2-3 as well. Now, they're Boston. They might. I was going to say they started 0-3.
They beat Cleveland tonight, though.
2 in a row,
yeah,
right?
They're doing something.
Like, but if you all of a sudden are able to rattle off the next 5 games here, and we're sitting here at 6-4 instead of like 3-6, like we're about to find out who this team is. Because like even if we look beyond that, like you've got Portland, you've got New York, then you've got Brooklyn. Like this is a I don't want to say a soft part of the schedule, but like it's not like you're playing Cleveland and OKC and Denver and Golden State every night. Like you've got chances and you've got opportunities to pick up wins here and kind of like rewrite the ship.
Yep.
Okay. At what point, like these guys have to realize there's no cap space, right? You don't have any draft picks really that you can move. Like there's not a roster move that's coming. Okay. At what point are these guys looking around like, yo, if we don't get this together, like Jamal's gone. That's how these things work out in the league. Like maybe this will be the exception, right? Maybe this will be like one of the few times that you have a super talented team that not kind of underperforms, grossly underperforms to start the season. And like he's able to turn around and everything is awesome. And that would be my preference. That's what I want to happen.
Of course.
But historically, that's not what we see. So if these guys don't get it together, at what point do they at least go, hey, maybe we don't care, but if we don't get it together, this dude's going to lose his job and that's going to be on us. At what point did they do that? Like, we're going to find out what we need to know about this team. And if this is the team, Kevin, that we thought and have believed in and believed could win a playoff series, maybe win 2 and make the Eastern Conference Finals, or maybe if things kind of break the right way, you could end up in the finals. If that's the team that we really have, they're going to figure things out in the next, week and a half here, couple of weeks. If they don't, we don't have the guys that we thought we did, and we don't have the team that we thought that we did.
Here's another problem. Let's say the good scenario works out. Let's say this team figures things out. They start to play well, all that kind of stuff. You have dug yourself now a 3.5 game hole.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's 3.5 games behind the only 2 undefeated teams in the East, Chicago and Philly. Are Chicago and Philly going to end the season at the top of the East? That would be very surprising. Although, ironically, they both beat the Magic already. So you're 3.5 games back from the top of the East right now. Fortunately, you are just 2 games back from the teams that you actually expect to be at the top of the league, like a Cleveland. You're only a game and a half behind New York, who's only played 500 basketball so far. Milwaukee, you're 2.5 games back. Whatever team you pick as the goal, you've dug yourself a hole now. And so let's say you turn it around. You've got some work to do to get back into that segment of the standings that we expected. And so it's possible, yes, but the Magic have really started to dig a hole. 4 losses in a row against some really not great opposition. We looked at this stretch at the start of the season and said it was an outstanding opportunity for this team to get off to like a good start, basically a running start for the season. And they have absolutely whiffed on it. But again, it's not over. I
said this team had a chance to start like 10-11-0.
I think I think that was part of your prediction. Yeah. But
I didn't know they were going to just stay on the bus when the games start.
Yeah. But again, this stretch is still here, like we talked about, and the Magic have a chance to do it tonight. Now, it's tough. Back-to-backs are tough. Traveling back-to-backs are tough. Detroit to Charlotte. Charlotte's going to try to run the Magic out of the building physically, literally. They're just going to try to exhaust the Magic tonight. But it's an opportunity. It's a chance to turn around. And again, like you said, I literally think, Jonathan, the next time we record, we're going to know everything we need to know about this team in this season. Like, not the next time we record, sorry, the next Wednesday we record, a week from today, which will be after all 3 of these games, Charlotte, Washington, Atlanta. We're going to know, every Magic fan in the world is going to know what this season could be like. And I just hope it is a return to what we expected.
Jamal Mosley, I just looked at a little bit of his post-game availability. I've never seen Jamal Mosley as upset and as animated as he was in tonight's, as he should be, talking about you need to sit down and guard. Have some pride. Defend. We need to defend without fouling. And I only watched like the first 30 seconds of it just to kind of get an idea of his temperament in that. I saw a BD tweet about it. But like, sometimes when you see a guy who is like usually like calm and collected, like get fired up, like that'll fire you up. I don't know what needs to happen. Like, let's go win a championship, right? Like Paolo saying, like let's go win a championship.
Yeah.
Every guy at media day talking about like, we want to win a championship. We believe we can win a championship. Believing is not enough, guys.
Mm.
I tweeted this out a couple of days ago. We've hyped up this team. We called them contenders. We said they could compete for a championship. That type of stuff is, hey, forgive us. It's been a while, right? It's been 14, 15 years since this team could even sniff contention. Forgot a little bit about how you get there. And it's earned, man. You don't get to just make some trades, get some fancy new uniforms, transform your offense and say, oh, we're here. Like, we're going to be so good now. Yeah. You have a target on your back. The entire NBA has been talking about this team all offseason. You don't think other teams hear that?
Right.
You don't think other teams see the conversation around the Magic of like, hey, this team's coming into our building tonight. People are talking about them like they're contenders. They haven't even won a single playoff series. And they're coming into our building, with some swagger, bouncing around, thinking that, that they're going to come in and beat us. You have to earn that on a night in and night out basis. Like we talk about how, like, starting last year with the level of physicality that this team plays with, how the Magic didn't really get like look at this fun young team that everybody likes before you like gradually turn into the team that everybody hates when you start to get good. Mm-hmm. Like, we went from being dog crap to like really fun at the first couple weeks of the season last year to just like all of a sudden everybody hating the Magic and everybody complaining about how physical they are. Mm. Like, teams don't like playing this team. And somebody put out a clip. I don't remember which matchup it was last year against Detroit, but after Jonathan Isaac was talking to FanDuel Sports Florida, and he said, that team over there, they think they're dogs. They think that's them, but that's really who we are.
Right.
I wonder if they like found that clip and like circled it when the Magic came into their building tonight. Because Cade Cunningham just went like scorched earth in that third and fourth quarter, like almost like single-handedly took this game over and put it out of reach for the Magic.
In part because we let him, I just would like to add. Like the number of,
100%. Like Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, nobody could stay in front
Jones
of him.
And one was ridiculous. Like, what is he even trying to do? Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, like, terrible. But this team hasn't been through this yet, and they deserve some like growing pains and some grace through that. But like, if these first 5 games have not been a wake up call, because again, you're 6 minutes away from being 0-6 or 0-5. If these first 5 games haven't been a wake up call, what is, man?
Yep.
Like, I don't care if you lose tomorrow in Charlotte. It's the second night of a back to back. You've been terrible, whatever. Not that I don't care if we lose. Of course I care if we lose. But like, a loss is acceptable tomorrow if the defense and effort is there. If you just don't have the legs, you're not knocking down shots, like whatever. But I do not want to see another defensive performance like this the rest of the season. We didn't have a single defensive performance like this all year last year. This is unfreaking acceptable. 130 points. Are you freaking kidding me?
Here's the problem.
Like, we're letting Isaiah Stewart, we're making Jalen Duren look like freaking Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah. Like, just the lobs and like he's making freaking floaters in your face. He's blowing by wild. You with a hezzy crossover and getting to the rim. Like, that was have some pride, man. Sit down and guard. I do not want to see this team, this version of this team, show up another game the rest of the 77 regular seasons that we have and into the playoffs, because this team will win nothing. I promise you guys. You will win nothing playing and defending the way that you are playing and defending right now. It's gross.
Here's the problem. Charlotte's scoring a lot of points. They scored 136, 121, 139, and their last game on Tuesday they scored 117, which they lost to Miami by like almost 30, 144 to 117. So they are scoring a ton of points. They have an extra day of rest. It is going to be very difficult Thursday. But again,
get up early. Get a big lead early.
Right.
Don't let up. Take a 25-point lead into the half. Come out in the third quarter. Go on like a 10-6 run. Take a 30-point lead. Crush their wills. And get out of Charlotte with a win.
Yeah.
Like, can they play a great game for 48 minutes? No. Play really hard for like 32 minutes, and you should be able to get a win.
Yeah. Easier said than done, but
no
it's
excuses,
possible.
Man.
Charlotte's a team you can beat, even in all these circumstances. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, anyways, that's all I got.
Yeah. What a time, huh? Who thought a week ago? Again, you and I sat here talking about the Miami game wasn't great. We talked about it. I'm not going to go back over it, but none of us saw this week going like this. I mean, just not even close. This is just, I think that's part of the emotions, at least for me, but I think part of the emotions for a lot of the fans is just genuine shock. Like just disbelief that this is where we are. It's just really, really hard to wrap my head around, and probably a lot of people as well. But here we are, 1-4 through 5 games. Ready or not, 77 games to go. We'll see what happens.
We can't say that we didn't see this coming, though, right? Like, it started in that Miami game. Started to show up a little bit more in the Hawks game, a little bit more in that Chicago game, and we said, okay, like, all right, enough is enough. This team is going to realize they've got to defend, they've got to play better, they've got to have more energy. Like I said, like the defense is going to wake up in Philadelphia. It didn't.
No,
it did not.
Nope.
Yeah, I just shock.
Yep,
shock is the only way to put it. And like this team should not even look at the basket tomorrow. Just defend. Just defend, rebound, play like crazy, pass the ball around. If it ends up going in the basket, that's like a bonus. That should be the last thing that this team is worried about, at least until they get that back. Because, man, if this team is not good enough offensively to just try to outscore teams, as we've seen.
Right.
If this team does not defend, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Let alone win a series or win anything of significance.
Yep. Yikes.
That's going to do it for this one. For Kevin Tucker, this has been Jonathan Osborne. You all have been listening to The Sixth Man Show, and we will catch you guys next time. See ya.
Thanks for listening to The Sixth Man Show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and Spotify to get new episodes downloaded directly to your phone. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps out the show a lot. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sixth Man Show. We'll catch you guys next time. Go Magic!